Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and today I am reviewing Yakuza 6, The Song of Life for the PlayStation 4. Yes, indeed. I bought the Essence of Art edition, which comes with a very nice art book, and the game, of course, in the back of the book, in a plastic click sleeve, which is very nice. This game is one of the games I have been looking forward to on the PlayStation 4 for quite some time. This and Yakuza 0 and Yakuza Kiwami and Yakuza Kiwami 2. And also, please keep an eye out on my Twitch channel for streams coming up for Yakuza Kiwami 1 and 2, and of course Yakuza 0. I will be doing those. I have already streamed quite a lot of Yakuza 6. In fact, I was unable to show the last, very final chapter of Yakuza 6 because of a stream ban through the streaming software in the PlayStation 4, which means I couldn't show it, so I had to end the stream, and I continued playing it. When I can download that video from Twitch, because it's like an 18 gigabyte video file, I plan to edit out the section and half the video and upload it to YouTube, and then maybe when I can get the recording stuff I need, I'll record the ending video separately and add it in at the end. But anyway, back to the review of the game. The game plays exactly as any Yakuza game has in the past, with a few minor exceptions like the controls, the way the character movement controls feels very good, very natural now, which is nice actually. It feels very natural. Character models and graphics and everything else has been really well redesigned. I noticed that during the playthrough of Yakuza 6 and Yakuza Kiwami and Yakuza Kiwami 2 stuff that I've played so far. The new graphics they've been pushing after Yakuza 0 have been phenomenal. They look fantastic. If this is the way Sega's going to be pushing their newer action-adventure games, I'll be honest with you guys, I'm all in for that. I'm all in. Now then, a little bit of a story background for this game, nothing too spoilery. You find most of this out if you read the back of the game. I'm going to read the back of the game case anyway, just to make it easier on me. How far would you go for family? Kazuma Kiryu returns from prison to a mystery surrounding his world. Haruka, devastated to find her comatose following an incident, he is at a complete loss to discover her son. In search of answers, Kiryu sets off to Onomichi in Hiroshima, where he finds himself embroiled in a Yakuza conflict that has lain dormant for decades. That is literally all it is. So his adopted daughter Haruka has a baby. He spends about 5 years in prison after the previous game, after something he did. I never actually got a chance to play Yakuza 5, unfortunately, due to circumstances. But I know the story background of it. At least he did something in Yakuza 5 that basically ended him back in prison for 5 years, or close to 5 years if I'm not mistaken. And then he comes out to find out that Haruka left and tried to find her, found out she was hit by a car, put in a coma, she had a baby, tried to figure everything out, and it usually ended like every other Yakuza game, he got pulled back into the underworld of the Yakuza in one way or another. Poor guy never seems to catch a break, and in 6-7 games, he's had it rough, man. He has had it rough. Very small spoiler alert. If you haven't seen any videos on YouTube or online or anything about this, it seems that Sega have officially retired the character of Kazuma Kiryu. The next Yakuza game, there will be another Yakuza game, will have a new main character. How a lot of people feel about this, I don't know. I haven't looked at other people's opinion. My opinion is the guy's got to be hitting 50 soon. I believe through this game he is like 52, 53, 54. He's old, man. You gotta give Kazuma Kiryu a break. He deserves his retirement. Let me say that much. I think the ending of the game is bittersweet. That's all I'm gonna say. Not more than that. Combat of the game feels fantastic. New combat engine again. I love the ragdoll physics. My friend Michael, throughout our streams, he's Twitch clipped quite a few clips of stuff. You should, if you visit my Twitch page, I believe you will see those under the clips section. Some of them are really great. Some of the ragdoll physics are really good, and some of the violent combat with knives and swords is also still present. Is also very good. The game as a whole is basically the next generation of Yakuza games and how they should play and how they feel. I've been a fan of the Yakuza games since 2006 when I got hold of the very first game on PlayStation 2. I've been a fan ever since. I had Yakuza 2, loved it to death. I got Yakuza 3 on the PlayStation 3. I love that game to death. I had Yakuza 4. Again, like I said, I missed Yakuza 5. I recently, on a PlayStation Network sale, bought Yakuza 0 and Yakuza Kiwami. I have completely played through Yakuza 0. I actually haven't played that much through Yakuza Kiwami 1 yet, but I will. I downloaded and streamed the demo of Yakuza Kiwami 2. The thing that Yakuza Kiwami 1 and 2 and Yakuza 6 have in common is the new graphics engine and the way the games feel and look. They feel, like I said previously, really good. The controls feel great. The ragdoll physics is a lot of fun. The combat has been revamped and is a lot better than what it used to be, which to me is pushing the game in the right direction, which for a game series that's been around long, almost close to, it's going to be 15 years coming up when Yakuza 7 comes out, close to, it's going to be pushing 15 years old, this series of games. You gotta keep things new and fresh and exciting for fans as much as possible. And I give credit to Sega. They've been able to do that over the years. They really have been able to keep the games fresh and new and exciting, not just with stories, but with new characters. You're revamping the graphics, the controls, the mini games, all the stuff that you get and come to expect in a Yakuza game. Sega have done a fantastic job of keeping that up to date and keeping it fresh for people who are, one, new to the games, or two, returning people like me. Keeps them interested, which is what you want in a game like this. You need to keep it interesting, because if you don't, you're gonna lose your fan base, and the moment you lose all your fan base, that's it. You're bust. You're out of luck. Now then, positives and negatives of this game. I'm going to start off with the positives. There are quite a few here. Positive number one, like I previously mentioned, the graphics are top notch. You're not going to I don't believe you're not going to get any better than this on the PlayStation 4. Specifically because Yakuza 6, I do not know if Yakuza Kiwami or Kiwami 2 will be, but Yakuza 6, A Song of Life, is PlayStation 4 Pro enhanced for 4K. Imagine those graphics in 4K. When I streamed it on Twitch, it was 720p, 60 FPS, high bandwidth, all that. It didn't look as good as it did in 1080p in front of me. And if in 4K, this game will look even better. And I can't wait to have a look at it in 4K, because my friend has a 4K PS4, and I plan to take it over to him so he can borrow it for a little while. And I plan to look at the graphics through that, because I don't have 4K TVs or monitors in this house at the moment. I just don't feel the need to have them, so I don't have one. But I digress. This game looks fantastic. It will hopefully look even better on PlayStation 4 Pro and 4K. Next positive point is the music, the sound effects, the voice acting is exactly as you would want in a Yakuza game. In my previous review of Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet, I commented that it would be nice for the English voice cast to step up and do something. With the Yakuza games, the very first Yakuza game for Westerners had English voice actors, had some of the top-range Hollywood actors paid to voice this game. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they had some A-list celebrity actors from Hollywood come in and voice the characters, and I enjoyed the English voice characters. I thought they were pretty good. But after playing Yakuza Kiwami a little bit, and hearing the original Japanese voice acting for the very first time, in that game, specifically in the very first Yakuza game, I thought to myself, this is how Sega should have done it originally. Ever since Yakuza 2, when it was just the Japanese voice cast, I felt personally, as it's a game that's based in the Japanese underworld, in the Yakuza, the Japanese voice acting should be the only voice acting you should even think about having. Adding English or American voice acting to it just, to me, kind of ruins the effect and the feel of what you're trying to get in the game. So for me, the English voice acting is not a necessity for the Yakuza game, and if anyone says they would want one, they're talking out of their ass. Seriously. A game about Japanese underworld and Japanese organized crime, you want English voice acting? Give it a rest. Get out of here. Next positive point. The combat style and the upgrading style of this game is where it should be. You use points accumulated throughout your combat and quests and everything, and then you upgrade your stats, so your health, your attack, your defense. You can unlock extra moves, all sorts of other things as well throughout this game, which makes it more fun, more accessible. And also, it's something new, because the last few times I played a Yakuza game, you've either had to use like this build-up bar that you get, which is fine, or like in the case of Yakuza 0, you used money, which I thought was a bit too much, but it was the 1980s, and Japanese excess with money was everywhere, like it was everywhere else in the world in the 1980s. Everyone had money somehow in some way, so there you go. And my next positive point for this game is basically the fact of it's the presentation of the game when you buy it. If you buy the normal edition of the game, you're just getting what you're getting, and that's perfectly fine. If you don't want anything special, you just want the game, you're going to get just that. If you buy the Essence of Art edition, you're going to get this fantastic, gorgeous art book with some really nice fan art, I might add. It has some really good fan art and a little bit of a write-up in the beginning of the book, and the game disc in the back, which is all you really need if you're going to be buying this one. If you're going to be buying the collector's edition, it comes with 2 crystal shot glasses, dice that you, cold stone dice that you put in the freezer. They freeze like ice cubes. You put them in your whiskey or whatever, and you do that. You get coasters. You get the Essence of Art edition game and the game disc, of course. Which, if you're going to spend that kind of money on it, all power to you. That's fine. I could have bought that edition, but I chose not to. I just wanted the Essence of Art edition. I didn't need the glasses or the coasters or anything. That was nice to see, but it wasn't a special edition that I was willing to throw money down on this time. Now we're going to move on to the negatives. And there's only really one negative that I'm going to mention. And that's the downloadable content. Now, I would be perfectly fine if this game didn't have any DLC whatsoever. I would be fine with it. This game's DLC is unfortunately some kind of stat pack or pack for like an extra optional game, and they're pretty expensive. And I'm like, really? Is that all you could come up with, Sega? So I felt a little disappointed in that. Only a little, not much, but a little. Enough that I was like, well, okay, it's a negative. It's not going to make too much of a difference on the score, though. Maybe like 0.5 of a point. So that's my only negative for this game. So now I'm going to go to scoring the game. Well, you heard me hype this game up, so I'm just going to come out and say it. 9.5 out of 10. Why? The DLC does let it down a little bit. Because, again, it's like almost $2 for the 4 to 5 expansion packs, and they're not even for the main story. They don't do anything to really help Kazuma at all, and it seems pointless to even have them there at all. If you're gonna give them away as freebies or something. But no, Sega make you pay for them, which seems a little cheap on their end. But that's the only major gripe I have about Yakuza 6: The Song of Life. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me on this review of Yakuza 6: The Song of Life, and I hope to see you again next time. Sayonara.